Today's video is Chapter 4, Lesson 1A. We're going to talk about math properties. There are 5 properties, not including the distributive property. We did that one yesterday. So these are 5 other properties besides that one. Pick up your pencil, find your notes, fill them out as I go along. If you need to pause the video because I'm talking too fast, then go ahead and pause the video so you can fill in the notes. All right, our first property is the commutative property. It means that you can change the order in a math problem. Whoever is first can be second, and whoever's second can be first. So an example would be 2 plus 3 is the same as 3 plus 2. Another example, 4 times 5 is the same as 5 times 4. Another example would be 2 times m equals m times 2. Commutative property, you can change the order. Whoever is first can now be second. Whoever is second can now be first. There is no commutative property of subtraction because 12 minus 10 does not equal the same as 10 minus 12. So we can only have commutative property of adding or multiplying, but not subtracting. Our second property is the associative property. The associative property needs to have at least 3 numbers, and we can group the numbers differently. Another way of saying this is we can do PEMDAS. How do I want to say this? We can do PEMDAS in a different order. Okay, so an example of that would be if I had 4 plus 9 plus 1. I'm supposed to do 4 plus 9 first because order of operations, whatever I read first, that's what I do first. But I could, since it's all addition, I could jump to the back and do 9 plus 1 first. 4 plus 9 is 13, plus 1 more is 14. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 4 is 14. So I get 14 on each side. So if I want to group these two and do them first, or if I want to group these two and do those first. So changing the order was commutative. Grouping, putting the parentheses in a different spot, is associative. Okay, our third property is identity. There are 2 types of identity. The first one we're going to do is the additive identity property. So if I were to take and add 0 to any number, it stays the same. 2 plus 0 is still 0. Oh, sorry, is still 2. 3 plus 0 is still 3. X plus 0 is still x. Whatever I start with is what I end with. 2, adding nothing, doesn't change it. Its identity stays the same. Okay, the next identity property is the identity property, the multiplicative. The multiplicative identity property. I can multiply by 1 and it stays the same. So 2 times 1 is still 2. 3 times 1 is still 3. X times 1 is still x. All right, and now our last property is called the multiplicative property of 0. If I multiply by 0, my answer is 0. That is different from adding 0. If I add 0, the number stays the same. If I multiply by 0, now my whole answer is 0. So 2 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. X times 0 is 0. Anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Okay, now let's go to the bottom of our notes. We're going to talk about this word counterexample. So we're going to read the sentence, and then we're going to state if it's true or false. And if it's false, we're going to provide a counterexample. A counterexample is a situation that proves a statement is false. All right, so my first question is, multiplication is commutative. Can I change the order when I'm multiplying? Well, we just had examples up here where 4 times 5, 5 times 4, both of those answers are 20. So yes, multiplication is commutative, true. Division is commutative. Division is commutative. Well, commutative means I can change the order. Whoever is first is second. Whoever's first, is over here is second. And whoever is second is now first. So I'm feeling like that's not going to be true. Let's try a situation. Let's try 12 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 2 divided by 12. 2 divided by 12 is not 6. That would be 1/6. So it is false, and this is my counterexample. This is my situation that proves it's false. I'm saying it's false, and this is why. If I can prove this one is false, then the whole statement is false. Okay, next question. The difference of two numbers is always less than either of the two numbers. Whew, that was a lot of words. Okay, let me break it down. The difference of two numbers. Difference means subtract. So I'm going to randomly pick two numbers. I'm going to pick 10 and 8. The difference of two numbers is less than either of the two numbers. Is this answer smaller than 10? Check. Is this answer smaller than 8? Check. All right, so far it's feeling true. What if I picked some negative numbers? Let's try negative 12 and negative 5. And now I've got to find the difference between those. So now he's touching me, she's touching me. I have to fix the problem. So I get negative 12 plus 5, which is negative 7. Is negative 7 smaller than 5? Yes. Is negative 7 smaller than negative 12? No. So it's false, and here's my counterexample. So that one was tricky because if I picked positive numbers, it worked out. But if I pick negative numbers, because the two signs are touching, it's now going to be a false statement. All right, now I'm going to ask you to figure out which property I'm showing you. Okay, remember we had 5 properties. So the video is going to stop and you're going to type in which property, commutative, associative, additive identity, multiplicative identity, or multiplicative property of 0. The answer was commutative. The commutative property, because I switched the order. X was first and now X is last. Y was last and now Y is first. Okay, next question. Which property is that? The answer was commutative again. X plus Y, the first guy is last and the last guy is first. The next question. Which property is that? The answer was multiplicative identity. No, it wasn't. That was wrong. That is multiplicative property of 0. Wow. So if I multiply something by 0, I get a 0. Multiplicative property of 0. Okay, question 4. All right, what is this answer? The answer was additive identity. I'm adding 0 to 7 and I still have 7. All right, your next question, what property is this? That would be the associative property. I'm regrouping things. If I multiply 7 times 2 and then times 3, 14 times 3, it's the same as 7 times 6. All right, this one is a little tricky. I'm testing to see if you can figure out this property. The answer is commutative. Did you guess that one right? Commutative property. Because I reversed the 2 and the 4, and I made it 4 and 2. So just because there's 3 numbers, like there's 3 numbers up here, I didn't group anything different. Grouping means parentheses. I reversed the order, so that's commutative. All right, here's your next question. Which property do you see? Do you notice? The answer is we're adding 0 to get the same thing. So additive identity. Okay, question 8. XYZ times 1 equals XYZ. The answer is multiplicative identity. All right, here's your next question. Is this a true or false statement? If it's true, it's got to be true all the time. But if it's false, find the exception. The answer is false. Every 4 years, there's a leap year. So on a leap year, the day after February 28th would be February 29th. All right, an even number plus an even number is always even. Is that always true, or can you find a situation that proves it's false? All right, I tried 5 different examples. 2 plus 4, even, even. Yes, answer's even. I tried it when they were the same, 14 plus 14, still even. I tried 20 and 32. Even though the first digit is a 5, the whole answer is even. Okay, then I tried a negative number, -2 plus 6, still an even answer. Then I made both of them negative. -2 plus -10, he's touching me, she's touching me. Scribble that out, I get -12, still an even number. So I can't find a situation that proves it false, so that sentence must be true. All right, now you're ready for your homework. After your homework, if you have any extra time, you can play the blue kit that I've put up there.